Dinesh asks, in a situation where there's an F1 student who's currently in post-completion OPT and applied for STEM OPT, now he has 2 more years left on STEM OPT, but he got picked in the H1B lottery. In this case, can he now apply for Consular Processing for the H1 and start his H1 once his OPT ends? In this case of applying for Consular Processing, can he change the employer after getting H1B approval? Pros and cons. To answer this question, yes, you can apply for H1 Consular Processing. That way you can continue on your F1 status, and after the completion of your F1 status, you can then go for a visa on your approved H1 and then come in on a H1B to get into a H1B status. The problem with this is if you file the H1 now and it gets approved now and you go for a visa 2 years later, at the consulate they will ask as to why you did not come for a visa earlier, why you didn't start working for the employer earlier, and so the employer has to provide responses and has to give the reasons as to why there was a delay of 2 years in the start of the project or start of employment. To answer your second question as to whether H1B employer can be changed, yes, again the H1B employer can be changed since you were previously approved under the cap and you were already counted towards the cap. You can file another H1 as a cap exempt H1 and you'll have to file it. You can file it change of status at this point, or you can file Consular Processing, whichever you choose. This is of course based on the current regulations. H1B cap, who is subject and who is not, that keeps changing. They keep changing the interpretation, but as of now it's a pretty liberal interpretation, and as long as you have been approved for a H1, you are not subject to the cap again. You don't have to go through the process again.